Well, Australia's software development industry is undergoing one of its most rapid transformations ever. The implementation of AI-driven supply chain delivery becoming increasingly more prevalent, but that hasn't come without its fair share of major breaches. Joining me to see what steps Australian businesses should take to reinforce their software pipelines is Sunny Rao from JFrog. Sunny, great to have you with us. Let's take a step back. Tell us a little bit about JFrog. What are you doing?
So good to be here. Thank you very much. JFrog is the system of record for modern software, and the way it is built is secured and deployed. And we are the foundation of how enterprises build out their software supply chain. We're very fortunate to have over 80% of the Fortune 100 and over 7,300 enterprises trusting us today.
So let's talk then about the fact that we have seen this explosion in AI-driven software development. How can companies then balance speed with security when it comes to this delivery?
That's a great question. AI is here and it will continue to accelerate. It has a tremendous impact on organizations' productivity and innovation, but that's not always driven by speed. A lot of it is also driven by the amount of control that you can have in how you use AI within an organization. Because the same thing that can accelerate your transformation can also expose the flaws that an organization has as rapidly. And this is driving organizations to put in the right foundations in the way they use AI within their organization.
So what are the risks if companies don't adopt this, and what happens when things go wrong?
That today software development, the way that the whole life cycle is going, is an increased dependence on bringing a lot of open source capabilities to fast track your development, and then use agentic capabilities on top to help accelerate that. But the risk that comes with that is that there is an explosion in the amount of malicious packages that are out in the open internet, and developers still bring a lot of that into the organization. We did a research report recently, and we found that over 71% of the developers still downloaded packages directly from the internet. And that leaves industries, especially Australian industries, exposed to a lot of open source malicious capabilities getting into your organization, and you have no control over it. So one of the things that organizations have to do is really firewall their capabilities, build out a secure platform, build out provenance for their software, and really establish trust into your software delivery lifecycle.
Well, obviously we know there's also been a lot of hacks, a lot of data breaches, and that's come through from so many big name companies. I mean, just to think of two, I can think of Qantas and obviously Optus as well. So when we talk about digital sovereignty, how does building a sovereign tech stack, what does it actually look like, Sunny, in practice?
Yeah, and this is something that organizations have been consumed by. The government is also, and the regulators are playing an increased role in this. To us in JFrog, sovereignty doesn't mean confinement, it means control. So the ability to have trust, control, and seamless execution, that's really what the future of AI is. And you're right, a number of large enterprises have had some enormous impact. You mentioned two. There have been others as well around the world. Most recently this year, you've had a major car manufacturer in the United Kingdom who just couldn't produce any cars for over 5 weeks. It's been touted as the largest cyber event in the history of the United Kingdom. And this has an impact not just on the enterprise, but the entire supply chain of that enterprise, all the suppliers who supply to it. Over 5,000 enterprises impacted just in this one incident. So you can't take this very lightly. You need to build out the right platform. You need to make sure that your entire software delivery chain is monitored. There is evidence collection. There is governance. There is risk, and you have new stakeholders that are getting into it. Some time ago, software delivery was all about engineers. Today, you have a new stakeholder that gets into this whole conversation, and that is your governance, risk, and compliance officers, who have an active say in how you build out software, the licensing models, and how you deploy it. And board level conversations get into how secure are we? how can we get the productivity, but how are we managing our risk? And these are the conversations that board members are constantly asking executives.
So I guess the thing is, Sunny, that we can often learn from terrible incidents like this. What lessons should organisations be taking in terms of trying to really secure their own pipeline here?
So the attack vectors, given the proliferation of where AI can take you, are significantly larger. And therefore, it becomes very important that companies start looking at their entire supply chain, look for all the weak links, look at ensuring that they balance the speed of developer experience and then the uniqueness of that with security. And you're constantly ensuring that security is part of everything that you do within your software delivery lifecycle, not just from the time you're building it, but also when you're running your software in production. And that involves ensuring that your internal infrastructure policies are right. Your policies are implemented day one, so your developers don't have to keep doing rework, because fatigue leads to mistakes. And so you want to prevent that fatigue in terms of what people do. But also, going into the future, balance out how humans and agentic models work together. And that's kind of the new form of organizational structures that we are seeing, is where you have smaller teams accompanied by a lot of agentic models that are helping these teams behave like additional manpower.